Hey everybody, you have Rich Norton here with RMS Sales Training and Inspiration. I'm very delighted and very happy to be with you. Really excited about the series that we've been doing, the one-on-one training with Rich Norton. And what I do, here's the amazing part about this, is I am teaching you what I do. Why is that important? Because the results speak for themselves. People say, well, you're just sitting behind a desk and you're giving presentations of what you did years ago. Back in your day, it's all that, blah, blah, blah. Well, many of you and most of you that know me know that that is nowhere near the truth. Everything that I'm teaching you is exactly what I do right up till today. Today, what did I do? Left my house at 6:45 in the morning. Drove out to my area about an hour and a half, worked in the area, wrote 2 merchants, drove back down to this area, had guitar lessons by 2:30. I had to cut the day short, and now I'm recording these shows in the afternoon by 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I'm very happy to do that. So a shorter day. But everything that I teach you and everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm covering during this one-on-one training program is exactly what I do. Now the key is you can have the best presentation in the entire world. You can have the most knowledge in the entire world about this industry, but none of that means anything if you do not apply yourself. You know what's incredible? I meet representatives or I talk to representatives that are new or newer, or maybe they've not been around for a very long time, that have so much knowledge, especially in all the technical areas right now, with all the new terminology, with all the new technological updates that are going on right now. They understand it all. They know more about the industry, or they think they do, but they know more about technology in many cases than I do. And it's some of these things that they're bringing up. I'm like, wow, I don't know that. I didn't know that. That's great. We do that? Wow, that's fantastic. Meanwhile, they're writing 2 a month and I'm writing 30. So if you think about it, what's the difference right there? None of this works if you don't work. The bottom line is you have to get out there, you have to make it happen, and you have to apply yourself. Very, very important, because I go to these summits. We have Christmas parties. We have sales blitzes. We have all kinds of things going on. People call me up on the phone all the time, wanting to be part of our group, wanting to be part of our team, and they're so knowledgeable about this industry. But if I ask them, they're like, man, I need help, man. I just need a lot of help. I feel like I'm struggling in this area, struggling with this part of the presentation. I keep missing them in the end. And I start asking questions, and I said, let me ask you this. What time did you leave your house today? Be honest. Pause. Silence. Well, I had something going on this morning, and, didn't leave till like 11. Okay. All right. I already wrote 1 by then, right? What time? Tell me about where you're working tomorrow. I haven't thought about that right now. Okay. Tell me about Friday. Where are you working? Oh, that's Friday. I'm not even sure. That's only Monday right now. These are the issues and these are the problems that people are having because they do not do what it takes to become successful. And all that's taught, and these are the mindset that we talk about, is getting yourself prepared, going to work every day. None of this works if you don't work. Bottom line. People say, well, you just write all kinds of orders. People come to you all the time. You're just a magician. You're a magical salesperson. I want to be like you. I want to be like these winners. I want to be like Mark Torben. I want to be like Daniel Bankston. I want to be like Sean Benson. I want to earn the money that they're earning. I want the success that they're having. I deserve it. Right? People sometimes will say that. And then I ask the question, do you really want it? Yes, I do. I'm going to ask you again. Do you really want it? Yes, I do. All right, here's my next question. Are you willing to do exactly what they do in order to achieve your success? Well, what do? Okay, let me explain the schedule. They're up early in the morning. They're out the door early in the morning. They drive an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes to the territory. They drive, they miss presentations, they go through obstacles, they go through challenges, they go through difficulties, no excuses at all. They work, they make it happen, and they go back home, and they're home by a certain time, 6 o'clock, whatever the time may be. 11-hour days, 12 hours, and many times. They do that Monday. And then guess what? Tuesday comes around. Guess what they do? They go to work? There you go. Tuesday, same thing. But they know where they're going. They know where they're going Monday. They know we're going Tuesday. Wednesday comes around. Guess what they do? Same thing? Yes, it's amazing how that works. Same thing. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And they do it the following week. They do it the following week. Sure, they take vacations. Sure, they win trips. Sure, they take their weekends off. They have a proper balance. That's very important. But they go to work consistently. That's why they have success. Please get that. They could be the greatest salespeople in the world. Many of you that are watching this show, writing a couple merchants a month, putting along, have better presentations than I do. Many of you watching the show have more talent than I do in some areas. Hard to believe, but hey, that's true. All right, I'm confident also. But you do. We're all gifted, we're all talented in so many different ways. But the question is, do you have the burning desire? Do you have what it takes and willing to do what it takes? Are you ready to make the commitment? Are you going to stick to it? Are you not looking back? Are you the type of person that no longer is going to make excuses? Are you ready to make it happen? That's the bottom line. So I want you to think about that. Really want you to reflect on that. Are you doing what it takes to become successful? So we are continuing in this one-on-one series with Rich Norton. We're going to get into a little bit more. We covered about traditional processing. We did some reviews, taking my time through it. Today we're going to get into breaking down the equipment, what they have, what to do if they're in a lease, if we can get that far. Review stuff, we'll get through it. We're going to take our time. I'm excited to be able to share this with you. So let's take a short break, break out your notes, we'll get right to it. One-on-one training with Rich Norton. I'll be right back. Hey, it's Rich Norton with Retriever Merchant Solutions. I want to thank all of you for watching our shows. We're hearing a lot of great positive feedback. And I'm hearing a lot from different representatives from other merchant service companies, which is fantastic. And people are telling me, man, we've got sales teams watching your shows, but I want to be on your team. And how do I get started? How do I qualify? How can I work with your company? I love what you're doing. I love the people. I love all the shows. You guys have a lot of enthusiasm, you have a lot of direction, a lot of discipline, and great things are happening. I'm seeing representatives win trips, and I want to have that lifestyle. I want to be part of a team like that. Because many of the representatives that we're talking to are coming from other merchant service companies, and no big deal, nothing bad against them, but a lot of stories that I'm hearing is that they're feeling like they're lone rangers. They've started out with a company and they got a little bit of training, maybe watched a couple videos, and then they're kind of thrown out there like, go out there and do it, good luck, you're on your own, and that's it. And a lot of them are falling flat on their face, they're struggling along, they're putting along, and they're getting kind of discouraged. Well, I want you to know at Retriever Merchant Solutions, especially within my group, the RPS Super Group, you will never feel that way. We are here for your success. What separates us from everybody else is that we put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and we work together as a team. We will make sure that you're going to have great success as long as you're willing to put forth the effort. Now, people may say, what is the key to success? How am I going to have success in your industry? I want to be successful. Well, it's bottom line, two things. It's all about attitude. I always say this, attitude, attitude, attitude. Believe in what you're doing. I can put all that as one thing. And go to work. Attitude, belief, go to work. All right, if you do that, you're going to have great success. So if you're looking for an amazing opportunity and you want to join a winning team, give me a call. The email is right here. You'll see that. But also you can call me directly. You can call me on my cell phone, 904-434-4635. You can shoot me a text. I'll get back with you. I keep busy, but I will get back with you. And you can join a winning team, and we will help you have all your dreams come true. All right, Rich Norton is right back here with you, and I want to get right to it. I hope you've got your notebooks out, and I hope you're ready to work right alongside with me. Now, we did a little review in the last episode, and we broke it down to getting to the merchants where you can present them, and they do not have to have a statement. Now, if they want to show you a statement, we're going to work on that in future episodes also, where we can break it down and explain to the merchant what that statement means. And that's going to be fantastic for you. How awesome it is when you get to that point if they say, here's my statement, how much are you going to save me? And you can just take that statement and say, great, this is fantastic. This is more for you than it is for me, but I'm happy to break this down with you, as opposed to, let me send this to my boss. That's fine. You're still going to write merchants doing that, but eventually, how exciting it is, you're going to be able to break down those statements for the merchant, and you will get some that will show you the statement that wants you to break it down, but the presentation that I'm showing you, actually 90-something% of the time don't even need to see a statement anymore. It's great. It's very simple. It's right to the point, and it's right bottom line. Because you're going to find many merchants, and be amazed, many merchants don't really fully understand this or pay any attention to this at all. All they know is they pay a lot of money. And your goal is to educate them and help them with some savings and get them to a much better program. Very excited. I'm excited to be able to share all of this with you. So when we get to that part where we broke it down for the merchant and we said, here's where you'd be, you show the different statements and everything. Now you want to find out where they are with their equipment. Now, on page 20 in your notes, and again, I know this might be a review, but I have pointed out, I asked them the question is, can you see why merchants love dealing with a direct processor? Can you see the difference in between dealing with a direct processor like us? Oh yeah, huge difference. Well, here's where we find out the equipment. Now, there's basically a couple different things you've shown, and I'm kind of glancing at this and kind of reviewing it, but you've just shown the merchant a significant savings. Now's the time to find out what the merchant is currently using, if you haven't found out already. You also want to find out what is the status of their current equipment. Now, if you run across a merchant that may be using a POS system, not Clover, but a different POS system, or they got some sort of gateway or something that they're using with software, that gets a little bit more technical. This is where you want to get Shannon involved at our office, or your leader or your trainer, but they will probably get Shannon involved with it as well. She is the megastar in that area. That's her expertise. I'm not big with POS. I admit that. I'm going to get to a higher level and learn more about that. But you want to make sure that if you do have a merchant that has a POS system, if we can integrate with it, are we compatible with that? And the only way to do that is call the office. You've got the rep support line. If you don't have that, we'll get that for you. Make sure you call that, get a hold of Shannon, send her an email. The information that you want to provide is what type of POS do they have, what is the software, name of the software, as much info as you possibly can get. She will tell you, number one, if we can integrate. Number two, she'll tell you what to do and what it's going to take in order to do that. That's important if you find a merchant like that. Now, if they do have POS software that we cannot integrate with, there are many circumstances, and I've done this several times, where they still use their POS software and they use the equipment with us on the side. And what that is, it's as simple as putting a different payment prompt on their current provider, on their current software that they're using, whether they put it under checks, they put it under something else, and then when they're doing the credit card processing, they will go right to our equipment. Now, it's not going to work hand in hand with their POS, but it's something that they're going to use on the side, whether you're doing cash discount, whether you're doing traditional processing. So that's a little extra information for you. When it comes to regular credit card terminals, here's what you find out. Either they own the equipment. Here's what's amazing. You're going to find many merchants have no idea. Whether it was given to them, they own it, or they're leasing it. It's incredible how they don't know at all. But if they own it, that means they purchased the equipment outright, whether they leased it over a period of time, or if they are currently paid money for it, and that's their equipment. A lot of them are like, yep, I bought that equipment, that's my equipment right there. Excellent. That's number one. Do they own the equipment? Number two, the equipment was supplied by their processor, also known as what some people call the free terminal. All right, now, when you're at this point right now, you've explained to the merchant and you've shown the merchant that what the savings was. Prime example, they paid $480, they're $190 with us, or $200, whatever it might be. So we've shown them a significant amount of savings. So you point out to them, they said that the terminal was free. Obviously, you know what your free terminal is costing. Usually, it's about $50 to $100 worth of additional garbage fees that makes up for the free equipment. Have fun with that. Laugh with the merchant about that, so you can see what your so-called free equipment is costing. They should have gave you all kinds of extra free stuff, right, based on that. So keep that in mind. That's how you have fun with that, if the merchant processor provided them with the so-called free equipment. The third thing, merchant is on a current rental program. The majority of the time, if they are on a rental program, that is going to be on the merchant statement. And they'll know. And a lot of times they will think, yeah, they provided the equipment for us, whether it's free or not free, whatever they told them. That can fall under the rental program also. And if you haven't seen the statement, you can point out, usually this is about $50 to $100 in fees, whether it's rental fees, additional fees, it all adds up. You know, based on the bottom line of what you've already spent up to this point. The other thing is, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. That is, let's back up to the rental first of all. It also could be on a bank statement separate. Usually that doesn't happen much, but it could be, but most of the time that's on the merchant statement. If they're doing a lease, again, it gets a little bit more complicated. The lease will not be on the merchant statement. Let me say that again, because a lot of times if they show a statement to you, they'll say, I think it's a lease, I don't know, isn't it on that statement I showed you right there? You have to keep in mind that if they're in a lease, it's not going to be on the statement. It's going to be separate. It's going to be on their bank statement. So keep that in mind. Whenever they're doing a equipment lease, it'll be separate. The majority of the time, for example, if a merchant got their equipment through their bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whoever the bank may be, and they did merchant services, they're going to be getting it through FDGL, First Data Global Leasing. Nothing against any of them. You know, I'm just giving you some information right there. If they did a lease, there's some of them out there called Lease Finance Group. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm going to go through some information that we can provide for you to find out what the information is on that lease. So here's the thing that you want to find out before you get into the equipment that we are going to be presenting. Very important that you find this out before you provide information, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. For example, if they got into a brand new lease and it's a 4-year lease or a 5-year lease and they're paying $49 a month, guess what? Not much we can do with that as far as us doing equipment. You know, we can add another lease, but is that the right thing to do? Here's some good news. We can actually reprogram existing terminals, depending on what type of terminal that they have. Now, there is information that you can get, and you can work with your relationship manager, but there's also a form that you'll find on our website, on the sales portal. But when you're first starting this out, I recommend calling the office, speaking to your relationship manager, and have them walk you through, or somebody else in customer service or tech support that will walk you through finding out if we can reprogram that terminal. And all that is going into the terminal, pressing a couple buttons to make sure the system's not locked, it's not proprietary, so we can go in there and reprogram that terminal. And by the way, here's some even better news. On top of that, if you get 3 merchant statements, current merchant statements, depending on how much volume that they're doing, you can reprogram that terminal and you can make bonus money up front. How awesome is that? How fantastic is that? So keep that in mind. And the sales portal will give you more information on how that works. So if they have a terminal that we can reprogram, they just bought it, you're just going to let them know. You're going to continue paying the lease. We're just going to reprogram that, and we're going to save you money on that end. So that kind of gives you a little bit of extra option right there. So it doesn't mean that the door's closed. You know, there's a great possibility that you can get them set up with the processing, make a little bit of money up front, and still get the residuals, because that's the bottom line. Write as many as you can, build up your residual, build up your book. You will find that it gets bigger and bigger and keeps growing. How exciting that is to watch that grow. It's amazing, it's incredible. So you're finding out the lease, and here's the information. You really don't want to be at a point where if they owe like $900 on a lease, you're getting into an area where it might be time to say, no, we're not going to buy this one out. But we can buy leases out, okay? How, you may ask? The question comes up. What do I do if a merchant's in a lease? What do I do if they're in a contract with the lease? Well, here's your answer. First of all, you want to find out how long they've had the equipment, what they're paying a month, how much they have left on their equipment, what the buyout is if we send the equipment back. And we're going to break that down. We're going to walk you through that. Again, it might be a review, but it's very important that you understand this. And that's why it's important to never quote a lease price until you know and have the information right up front. Here's the formula that you're going to use. For every $300 that they owe, you can increase your lease payment by $10 a month to offset that cost. So let's say, for example, you are doing a lease for $49.99. Because they have a $300 payoff, you're now going to do that at $59.99. Now make sure, because each of our equipment has a cap, you can't go over that, so you got to be careful with that. Look that up on the sales portal. Make sure you have all that information so you don't go over the cap. For example, if you said, well, I'm going to do one for $69 or whatever it might be, make sure you got the right number. And then normally if you were going to do it, they owed $600. That means you would be getting paid on it like it was a $49. So that extra fee for what they owe is added right into your costs, to your breakdown. You know, what your equipment cost is, what you're shipping, and any other payoffs that you're doing. So that's how you can get people out of a current lease. And the same thing can apply for if they feel, hey, I got a contract for my processing. Well, you can do that also. You can say, not an issue at all. We help merchants get completely rid of them. No problem at all. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is we're going to put it in writing for you today. If there's a charge, we will cover up to, and I would put a cap on that. I wouldn't say we're going to pay all your current buyout for your processor. You could say we will cover up to $250, something like that. So this way, that covers that. I've done like up to $295. You know, some are different. Some of them go all the way up to $495, $500, typically $250, $295, $300, $375. So you can actually split it. You say, look, you've seen the savings, you know, so what we do is we cover 200 of that. I'll put that in writing for you today. And we walk you through getting rid of your current processor. So that's a little side note to help you with doing that. So when that situation comes up, if a merchant says, well, we're in a contract, we're in a lease, now you know what great information. Now you know exactly what to do, how to help them get out of that equipment right there and get them set up with us, not looking back, getting rid of everything right there. So that's on page 20 also in the notes. And then if you go to page 21, you will see a list of several leasing companies. And it's got a list of the most popular ones right down to ours, number 7, the one that we use. So on their bank statement, you will actually see the name of the leasing company. So that's at this point, you've built a nice rapport with the merchant, and a lot of them will say, well, here's my bank, here, you look at it. That happens all the time. So you know you've got good trust with the merchants. So you break it down. Okay, you're with such and such leasing company right here. I've got the information, and you have it right there. So you can call up that leasing company, and you can say to the leasing company, here's the information that you want to have. The name of the business, the telephone number of the business. You also want to have the lease number. If you have it, that'll be on the bank statement. In many cases, you can use a merchant ID number. You can have that. You want to have the owner who signed it and the last 4 digits of the social security number. That's the information that's required in order to get that information. So when you call up that leasing company, it's basically going to say, hey, you know, here's this is such and such. We have a lease with you guys. Here's our lease number. The reason why I'm calling is I want to find out how much is remaining on our lease if we were to send the equipment back. Remember that part. How much is remaining on the lease if we're to send the equipment back? They'll ask you that information. Yes, you currently have 6 payments of $47 and such cents. Your payoff will be $262.38. You write that number down. If you don't have the lease number, get it from them right there. By the way, what's our lease number? Write that down. So now you have that information. This is great. And again, it gets a little bit more detailed, but now I'm taking you to a higher level to help a merchant get out of their current lease right now with you handling it for them. And by doing that, merchants feel very comfortable, very relaxed, knowing that you're taking care of it. So let's take a short break. We're going to finish up on this on today's episode. Great information, great to share that with you. We will be right back in a couple minutes.
Hi, we're Rich and Lee Norton with the Hands and Feet Foundation. Hands and Feet is a wonderful ministry where we serve on the west side of Jacksonville, Florida.
And this is a ministry that's near and dear to our heart. There's so many wonderful things that happen out there. Come to 7478 103rd Street, Jacksonville, Florida, or you can go to handsandfeetfoundation.org, or if you want to go to Facebook, Hands and Feet Westside. Come and see what we do. Check us out. If you'd like to give, or if you'd like to donate your time, whatever it may be. I mean, we're just loving this ministry. Love for you to be part of it as well.
All right, fantastic. Very excited to share that information about the how to buy out leases. I know I've covered that before, but it's important that you really get that down, that you fully understand it. And now you have the information. When you look at all of that on page 21, it actually gives you a breakdown of who the leasing company is, where the payoff goes to, and where the equipment goes back to. And that's important also. Sometimes you got to go the extra mile to write that merchant up. So I make sure that that equipment goes back, and I will actually do it myself. I'll even have a call label sent out to a merchant, or go back to the merchant, pick the equipment up, have the letter all written out, and have it sent exactly where it needs to go. Okay? And when you write that merchant up, what you want to do is you let the office know exactly what information it is. So when you submit that merchant application, it's very important that you also point out, this is a lease with this leasing company right here. Please send a payoff check in the amount of, so you give that amount, send this to your relationship manager, let them do it, right? It comes right off of your commission. Instruct them to have it come right out of your commission, especially for you newer representatives. You can have it come out of your residuals as your residuals are building up, but I'm going to recommend that you instruct it to come out of your commission right away. So you'll let them know, this is the leasing company, this is the lease number right here, here's the name of the company, please send this to this address right here, so they have all that information. Very detailed, very covered, very important that they have that information. So great information for you right there. I'm very happy to share that with you, very excited, and I know this is valuable information. And again, when I do these shows, I get a lot of feedback from everybody, and it's like, great show, thank you for that info, I didn't know we could do that. Wow, now I know what to do when I run across this scenario. I hear that all the time. Fantastic, and that's what my goal is. That's what I'm trying to accomplish with all of you. As you know, I have a passion to teach, to educate, to motivate, to inspire, to help you get to a level beyond your wildest imagination, to help you get to a level where all your dreams can come true. So this information, I know it's valuable. And by the way, I know without a shadow of a doubt, many merchant service companies are watching this. Many reps from other companies are watching this. That's fine, that's great. But when you want to get to a winning team, a true winning team, where all your dreams can come true, where we can take you to higher levels, why not join the team that has that type of people already? So if that's you, give me a call, 904-434-4635, or send me an email. You see the emails throughout the show. That's there for you also. So we are excited to build our team, to bring more winners in, people that have integrity, people that have desire, people that have determination, people that are excited and ready to make it happen. So great show, great information. Very happy to share all of that with you. Watch this show over and again. Make sure you have that info. Make sure you apply it. Make it happen. Today's an awesome day, an incredible day. It's a gift from God. What you do with this day is your gift back to God. Make it a great one. Make it an awesome one. See you next time on RMS Sales Training and Inspiration.